I never thought I'd find myself in a situation like this. It was a typical Saturday afternoon, the kind where the sun spills golden light through the window, casting warm shadows across the living room. I was sprawled on the couch, scrolling through my phone, half watching a game on TV, when I noticed a notification pop up on my girlfriend Mia's phone. It was a message from her ex, Jake. My heart sank. Mia and I had been together for nearly 2 years, and I thought we had built a solid foundation of trust. We shared everything, our dreams, our fears, our pasts. Or so I thought. I tried to shake off the feeling of unease that washed over me, but it clung to me like a shadow. I told myself it was just a message, a simple, "Hey, how have you been?" But the nagging thought wouldn't leave my mind. Later that evening, as we sat on the couch together, I couldn't help but steal glances at her phone. Each time it buzzed, my heart raced. I wanted to ask her about it, to confront her, but the words stuck in my throat. What if I was overreacting? What if it was just a friendly catch-up? I didn't want to come off as insecure or jealous. But the more I thought about it, the more the seed of doubt took root in my mind. That night, I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying the day's events. I felt a mix of anger and sadness. How could she be talking to him? Didn't she know how much it hurt me? I thought about the story she had told me about their relationship, how they had been together for 3 years before she met me. I remembered the way her eyes lit up when she spoke of their adventures, the laughter they shared. It made me feel small, like I was just a placeholder in her life. The next day, I decided to confront her. I had rehearsed what I wanted to say 100 times in my head, but when the moment came, my resolve wavered. We were sitting at our favorite cafe, the smell of coffee and pastries filling the air. I watched her sip her latte, her hair catching the sunlight, and I felt a pang of guilt. I didn't want to accuse her of anything, but I needed to know the truth. "Mia," I started, my voice barely above a whisper. "Can we talk about something?" She looked up, her brow furrowing slightly. "Sure, what's on your mind?" I took a deep breath, my heart pounding. "I saw a message from Jake on your phone yesterday. Are you two talking again?" Her expression shifted, a flicker of surprise crossing her face before it settled into something more guarded. "Jake? It's nothing, really. Just a few messages here and there. We're friends." "Friends?" I echoed, the word tasting bitter on my tongue. "You didn't tell me you were talking to him." "I didn't think it was a big deal," she replied, her voice steady but her eyes betraying a hint of uncertainty. "We've known each other for years. It's just catching up." I felt a surge of anger. "But why now? Why after all this time? You know how I feel about him." She sighed, running a hand through her hair. "I know, but it's not like that. I promise. It's just complicated." "Complicated?" I shot back, my voice rising. "What does that even mean? Are you still hung up on him?" Her eyes widened, and I could see the hurt in them. "No. I'm with you, aren't I? I love you, not him." But the words felt hollow. I wanted to believe her, but the doubt gnawed at me. "Then why keep it a secret? Why not just tell me?" "I didn't want to hurt you," she said, her voice trembling slightly. "I thought it was harmless." Harmless. The word echoed in my mind, a cruel reminder of the trust that felt so fragile. I wanted to scream, to lash out, but instead, I felt a wave of despair wash over me. I was losing her, and I didn't know how to stop it. As we sat in silence, the weight of unspoken words hung between us. I felt a mix of shame for my jealousy and anger for her secrecy. I wanted to forgive her, to move past this, but the uncertainty loomed large. What if this was just the beginning? What if there was something more? The rest of the day passed in a blur. I tried to act normal, but every time I glanced at her, I felt a pang of betrayal. I wanted to trust her, but the image of her laughing with Jake haunted me. I couldn't shake the feeling that the connection they once shared was still alive, lurking just beneath the surface. That night, as I lay in bed, I replayed our conversation over and over in my mind. I felt like I was standing on the edge of a cliff, teetering between love and doubt, and I didn't know which way to fall. The next few days were a blur of tension and unspoken words. Mia tried to reach out, to bridge the gap that had formed between us, but I found myself retreating into a shell of my own making. I was angry, yes, but more than that, I was scared. Scared of losing her, scared of what her connection with Jake might mean for our future. I felt like I was drowning in a sea of uncertainty, and every time she smiled at me, it felt like a reminder of the distance that had grown between us. One evening, as we sat on the couch, I noticed her scrolling through her phone again. My heart raced, and I felt a familiar knot tighten in my stomach. I wanted to trust her, but the image of her fingers dancing over the screen, possibly typing to him, made my blood boil. I took a deep breath, trying to calm the storm inside me. "Mia," I said, my voice steady but laced with tension. "Can we talk again?" She looked up, her expression shifting from casual to concerned. "Of course. What's wrong?" I hesitated, searching for the right words. I can't shake this feeling. I know you say it's just friendship, but it feels like there's more to it. I need you to be honest with me." Her eyes widened, and I could see the hurt flash across her face. "I am being honest. I told you, it's nothing more than catching up. I care about you, not him." "But you didn't tell me," I pressed, my voice rising again. "You kept it a secret. That's what hurts the most." She sighed, frustration evident in her features. "I didn't think it was a big deal. I thought you'd understand. It's not like I'm hiding anything from you. I just didn't want to make you feel bad." "By not telling me?" I shot back, my anger flaring. "You're making me feel worse by keeping it from me. It feels like you're choosing him over me." "I'm not choosing anyone," she exclaimed, her voice trembling. "I'm with you, and I want to be with you. But you need to trust me." Trust. The word hung in the air like a heavy weight. I wanted to trust her, but the more I thought about it, the more I felt like I was losing my grip on reality. I was caught in a whirlwind of emotions, betrayal, pain, anger, and sadness all swirling together, making it hard to see clearly. "I don't know if I can," I admitted, my voice barely above a whisper. "Every time I think about you talking to him, it feels like a knife in my gut." Mia's expression softened, and I could see the tears welling in her eyes. "I never wanted to hurt you. I thought I could handle it, that it wouldn't matter." "But it does, doesn't it?" I nodded, feeling the weight of my own emotions crashing down on me. "It does. I don't want to lose you." The silence that followed was deafening. I could see the conflict in her eyes, the struggle between wanting to reassure me and the reality of her past. I felt a wave of shame wash over me for putting her in this position, for making her feel like she had to choose between her past and our present. As the days turned into weeks, the tension between us only grew. I tried to push my feelings aside, to focus on the good moments we shared, but the shadow of Jake loomed large. I found myself obsessively checking her social media, looking for any sign of their interactions. Each time I saw a comment or a like from him, it felt like a punch to the gut. I was spiraling, caught in a cycle of jealousy and despair. One night, after a particularly difficult day, I found myself sitting alone in our favorite park, the cool breeze brushing against my skin. I watched the stars twinkle above, feeling a sense of loneliness wash over me. I pulled out my phone, staring at the screen, contemplating whether to reach out to Mia or to let the silence linger. Just then, my phone buzzed. It was a message from her. "Hey, can we talk? I miss you." I felt a mix of emotions, temptation to ignore her, but also a deep longing to reconnect. I took a deep breath and replied, "Sure." "Where? Meet me at the cafe in 10? I hesitated, my heart racing. Part of me wanted to say no, to keep my distance and protect myself from further pain. But another part of me, the part that still loved her fiercely, urged me to go. I needed to know where we stood, to confront the uncertainty that had taken root in my heart. When I arrived at the cafe, the familiar scent of coffee and pastries enveloped me, but it did little to ease the tension in my chest. I spotted Mia sitting at a corner table, her fingers nervously tapping against her phone. She looked up as I approached, her eyes lighting up momentarily before a shadow of worry crossed her face. "Hey," she said softly, her voice barely above a whisper. "Hey," I replied, sliding into the seat across from her. The air between us felt thick with unspoken words, and I could sense the weight of our unresolved issues hanging over us like a dark cloud. "I'm glad you came," she said, her gaze dropping to the table. "I've been thinking a lot about us." "Me too," I admitted, my heart racing. I don't know how to move past this. Every time I think about you and Jake, it feels like I'm losing you all over again." Mia sighed, her expression pained. "I never meant for it to come between us. I thought I could handle it, that it wouldn't affect our relationship. But I see now how wrong I was." I felt a flicker of hope at her words, but it was quickly overshadowed by doubt. "But why didn't you just tell me? Why keep it a secret?" "I was scared," she confessed, her voice trembling. "Scared of how you'd react, scared of losing you. I thought if I just kept it casual, it wouldn't matter." "But it does, doesn't it?" "Yes," I replied, my voice thick with emotion. "It matters a lot. I want to trust you, but it's hard when I feel like I'm competing with a ghost from your past." Mia reached across the table, her hand brushing against mine. "You're not competing with anyone. I chose you, and I want to be with you. But I need you to understand that Jake was a part of my life for a long time. It's complicated." "Complicated how?" I pressed, my frustration bubbling to the surface. "What does that even mean? Are you still in love with him?" "No," she exclaimed, her eyes wide with desperation. "I'm not in love with him. I care about him, yes, but it's not the same. I love you, and I want to build a future with you." Her words struck a chord deep within me, and I felt a mix of relief and confusion. "Then why keep talking to him? Why not just cut ties?" "Because it's not that simple," she said, her voice softening. "We shared so much together. It's hard to just erase that part of my life. But I promise you, I'm committed to us. I want to make this work." I wanted to believe her, but the uncertainty still loomed large. What if he tries to come back into your life? What if you start to feel something for him again? Mia's expression hardened, and I could see the determination in her eyes. "I won't let that happen. I'm choosing you, and I need you to trust me. I can't keep living in this limbo, feeling like I'm constantly under scrutiny." Her words struck a nerve, and I felt a wave of shame wash over me. I didn't want to be the jealous boyfriend, the one who couldn't let go of his insecurities. But the fear of losing her was overwhelming. "I'm sorry," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. "I just don't want to lose you." "I don't want to lose you either," she replied, her voice softening. "But we need to be honest with each other. I can't keep hiding things, and I don't want you to feel like you have to keep checking up on me." I nodded, feeling the weight of her words. "You're right. I need to work on my trust issues. I don't know how to let go of the fear." Mia squeezed my hand, her touch grounding me. "We can work on it together. I'm here for you, and I want to make this work. But you have to meet me halfway." As we sat there, the tension between us began to dissipate, replaced by a fragile sense of hope. I could see the sincerity in her eyes, the love that had brought us together in the first place. But the road ahead was still uncertain, and I knew we had a long way to go. Over the next few days, we made a conscious effort to communicate more openly. We talked about our feelings, our fears, and the things that had been left unsaid for too long. It was a slow process, but I could feel the walls between us beginning to crumble. Mia was patient, understanding, and I was grateful for her willingness to work through the mess we had found ourselves in. Yet, even as we made progress, the specter of Jake still loomed in the background. I couldn't shake the feeling that he was a constant threat, a reminder of a past that I couldn't compete with. I found myself obsessively checking Mia's social media, looking for any sign of their interactions. Each time I saw a comment or a like from him, it felt like a punch to the gut. I was spiraling, caught in a cycle of jealousy and despair. One evening, as we were sitting on the couch together, I noticed Mia's phone buzz again. My heart raced, and I felt that familiar knot tighten in my stomach. I tried to ignore it, to focus on the movie we were watching, but my mind was racing. I could feel the tension building inside me, and I knew I had to say something. "Mia," I said, my voice trembling slightly. "Is that Jake again?" She looked at me, surprise etched on her face. "No, it's just a group chat with my friends." "Why do you keep asking about him?" "Because I can't help it," I exclaimed, frustration bubbling to the surface. "Every time I see your phone light up, I can't help but wonder if it's him. I don't want to feel this way, but I do." Mia sighed, running a hand through her hair. "I get it, but you have to trust me. I'm with you, not him. I'm trying to move forward, but it's hard when you keep bringing him up." "I know," I said, my voice softening. "I'm sorry. I don't want to lose you. I don't want to feel like I'm competing with someone from your past." "You're not competing with anyone," she said firmly. "I chose you, and I want to be with you. But you have to let go of the past. You have to trust that I'm committed to us." Her words struck a chord deep within me, and I felt a mix of relief and confusion. "I want to trust you, but it's hard when I feel like I'm constantly on edge." Mia reached for my hand, her touch grounding me. "We can work on this together. I'm here for you, and I want to make this work. But you have to meet me halfway." As the days turned into weeks, we continued to navigate the complexities of our relationship. We went on dates, shared laughter, and created new memories together. But the shadow of Jake still lingered, a constant reminder of the trust that had been broken. One night, as we lay in bed together, I turned to Mia, my heart heavy with unspoken words. "Do you think about him?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. She looked at me, her expression serious. "Sometimes, yes. But not in the way you think. I think about what we had, the memories we shared. But I don't want that anymore. I want you." I felt a wave of relief wash over me, but it was quickly overshadowed by doubt. What if he tries to come back into your life? What if you start to feel something for him again? "I won't let that happen," she said firmly. "I'm choosing you, and I need you to trust me. I can't keep living in this limbo, feeling like I'm constantly under scrutiny." Her words struck a nerve, and I felt a wave of shame wash over me for putting her in this position. I didn't want to be the jealous boyfriend, the one who couldn't let go of his insecurities. But the fear of losing her was overwhelming. "I'm sorry," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. "I just don't want to lose you." "I don't want to lose you either," she replied, her voice softening. "But we need to be honest with each other. I can't keep hiding things, and I don't want you to feel like you have to keep checking up on me." I nodded, feeling the weight of her words. "You're right. I need to work on my trust issues. I don't know how to let go of the fear." Mia squeezed my hand, her touch grounding me. "We can work on it together. I'm here for you, and I want to make this work. But you have to meet me halfway." As we sat there, the tension between us began to dissipate, replaced by a fragile sense of hope. I could see the sincerity in her eyes, the love that had brought us together in the first place. But the road ahead was still uncertain, and I knew we had a long way to go. Weeks passed, and while we made strides in our relationship, the specter of Jake still haunted me. I tried to focus on the present, on the love that Mia and I shared, but every time I saw her phone light up, my heart would race. I was caught in a cycle of anxiety and doubt, and I knew I had to confront it head-on. One evening, after a long day at work, I returned home to find Mia sitting on the couch, her phone in hand. I felt a familiar knot tighten in my stomach as I approached her. "Hey," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "Hey. How was your day?" she asked, looking up with a smile that momentarily eased my tension. "It was fine," I replied, but I could feel the weight of unspoken words pressing down on me. "Can we talk?" "Of course," she said, setting her phone aside. "What's on your mind?" I took a deep breath, gathering my thoughts. "I've been thinking a lot about us, about everything that's happened. I know I've been insecure, and I'm sorry for that. But I need to know that I'm not just a backup plan for you. Mia's expression shifted, concern etched on her face. You're not a backup plan. I chose you, and I want to be with you. But I can't keep reassuring you if you don't believe me. I want to believe you, I said, my voice thick with emotion. But every time I see you on your phone, I can't help but wonder if it's him. I don't want to feel this way, but I do. She sighed, running a hand through her hair. I understand, but you have to trust me. I'm not talking to him like that. I'm with you, and I want to build a future with you. I nodded, feeling the weight of her words. I know, but it's hard to let go of the fear. I don't want to lose you, and I don't want to be the guy who can't get over his insecurities. Mia reached for my hand, her touch grounding me. We can work on this together. I'm here for you, and I want to make this work. But you have to meet me halfway. As we talked, I felt a flicker of hope ignite within me. Maybe we could overcome this together. Maybe I could learn to trust her again. But the road ahead was still fraught with uncertainty, and I knew it would take time. The following week, I decided to take a leap of faith. I invited Mia to a weekend getaway at a cabin in the woods, hoping that a change of scenery would help us reconnect. As we drove through the winding roads, I felt a sense of excitement mixed with apprehension. This was our chance to leave the past behind and focus on our future. When we arrived at the cabin, the beauty of the surrounding nature took my breath away. The tall trees swayed gently in the breeze, and the sound of a nearby stream filled the air. It felt like a fresh start, a chance to breathe and let go of the weight that had been pressing down on us. That evening, as we sat by the fire, I felt a sense of peace wash over me. We talked and laughed, sharing stories and memories, and for the first time in weeks, I felt the tension between us begin to dissolve. I looked at Mia, her face illuminated by the flickering flames, and I realized how much I loved her. Mia, I said, my voice steady. I want to let go of the past. I want to focus on us and what we can build together. She smiled, her eyes shining with warmth. I want that too. I'm committed to you, and I want to make this work. As we sat there, the warmth of the fire wrapping around us, I felt a sense of clarity. I knew that the road ahead wouldn't be easy, but I was willing to put in the effort. I wanted to trust her, to believe in our love, and to let go of the fear that had held me captive for so long. The next morning, we woke up to the sound of birds chirping and sunlight streaming through the windows. We spent the day hiking, exploring the beauty of nature, and reconnecting in a way that felt genuine and real. With each step we took, I felt the weight of my insecurities begin to lift. As the sun began to set, we found ourselves sitting on a hill overlooking the valley, the sky painted in hues of orange and pink. I turned to Mia, my heart full of emotion.